رب زدني علما.
Let's take a look here now at a little bit about the kingdom of Mali under Mansa Kankan Abu Bakr II. His rule was between 1307 to 1312. The kingdom of Mali was the yellow, and it was a very tight, well-controlled empire. Again, it was a river kingdom, and the Malians, the people of that empire, they controlled the rivers, and they policed the rivers, and they had what are called power canoes. They used power canoes to do that, and they had tremendous wealth. They also traded overland. They had gold. They would send caravans across the Sahara. Caravans would come back. They built mosques like this in Gao. And in fact, one of the kings of Mali went to pilgrimage, and he brought back after pilgrimage Spanish Muslim architects, Andalusian architects who were really good builders. And he asked them, he said, I want you to build me some mosques. But he said, I don't want Andalusian mosques. I don't want Spanish mosques. This is not Spain. I want African mosques. I want mosques that fit in here. And so they developed this kind of architecture which had been there before, and is one of the great beauties of West Africa. Okay, do you have any questions up to this point? So then let's look at the account. This account is an account that is written in Arabic. This is actually the manuscript that it's written in. It hasn't been published, and it is by a great historian whose name is Deen al-Umari. Deen al-Umari. And he got information from Mansa Kankan Musa after the pilgrimage of Mansa Kankan Musa. Mansa Kankan Musa, the brother of Abu Bakr, was a man known for his piety. He loved Islam. And his soldiers were also great soldiers. Do you know what kind of clothes the soldiers of Mansa Kankan Musa wore? Does anybody want to guess? Coming from West Africa. What do you think they wore? What kind of clothes did they wear? They had lots of money. Would you want to take a guess? Anybody want to take a guess? Huh? Persian brocade. Persian brocade. Where did they get it from? Persia. Where do you think they got it from? Yeah. They, and to this day, I mean, one of the things about West Africans, the Gambians are the ones that I know the best. They are very clean people. Very clean people. And they love to dress. Dress is very important for them. They dress beautifully. They dress beautifully. Once I went to a Jola village, and the Jola are extremely honest people. Kunti Kinte told me, he said, if you drop your wallet in this village, a Jola village, you can come back next week and pick it up. It'll still be there. Nobody will touch it. They won't do that. Jola are like that. They're very honest. And I went to a Jola village. It was very beautiful. But they're poor. And they sacrificed a goat for me. And they also brought me fresh cow's milk. Okay. I should have paid more attention to this so it doesn't do anything funny. But and the cow's milk is really good, raw milk, but clean, good for your health. And because I was a white, they knew that I probably eat with silverware. So they brought me the silverware in a beautiful basin of clean water, so that I take it out of the water. Why? So that I know that this is clean silverware. That's really beautiful, really beautiful. So you can imagine what the soldiers of Mansa Kankan Musa looked like. They wore Persian brigade. And on their spearheads, they had a special alloy of gold, silver, and bronze. So because gold is usually soft, so they mix it with silver and bronze, and then they have a gold spearhead. And of course, they can also melt it down and get gold. So it's a way of carrying gold with them as well. And when Mansa Kankan Musa came to Cairo on his way to Mecca, he caused inflation for 15 years. He had so much gold. And he was also generous with his gold. Yes?
Thank you very much. Just a question so that I understand. Was it a completely independent state, or there was like Andalusia and then Khilafah somewhere? What was the dynamics between them?
Okay, that's a very good question. Thank you very much. So at the time of the Empire of Mali, Muslims around the world have been broken up into little principalities. Okay, there is no big state anymore. The Muslims in Spain and Portugal are divided into little kingdoms, which unfortunately fought against each other. And the Muslims of North Africa and elsewhere are also little kingdoms fighting together. It's an important period of our history. At that time, you have other people who are developing political power, such as, for example, the Ottoman Turks. But they're just beginning. They're just getting started. Okay, so that's the time of Mansa Kankan Musa. So there is no caliphate. And he is completely independent. He is totally independent. And again, they are so wealthy that they're very well known. And people want to go there to see them. So let's see what this says. Mansa Kankan Musa told al-Umari, our king, Abu Bakr II, his brother, did not believe that it was impossible to reach the furthest limit of the ocean sea. Okay, my brother did not believe that it was impossible to cross the Atlantic. Why didn't he believe that? That's a very good question. And also, when Abu Bakr did not believe that it was impossible to cross the Atlantic, do you think that was his personal secret? No. This is one of the things that I learned in the Gambia, that everything he did was done in public. Everything that he did was done with counsel. Everything he did, he took the opinion of other people. So unlike Columbus, who will basically do his journey on his own and think it out and try to get some people to give him money, this is a work of the state. And Mansa Kankan Abu Bakr is talking with his brother Musa, and he's talking with others. Okay, and it's like, I know we can cross the water. That's what he believed. Okay, so how do you know that? And like, is that something that you've known for a long time? For example, the Olmecs, who look a lot like you, did you learn that from them? How long? This is very important. We have to study these things. Okay, so he said that our king did not believe it was impossible to go across the ocean. He wanted to do that. He wanted to attain the sea's most distant limit and fell in love with the idea. He prepared 200 ships and filled them with men, warriors. An equal number of ships he filled with gold, water, and provisions, enough to last them for years. Okay, now what's he going to do? These are power canoes. They're big. And he is going to outrig them. Do you know what an outrigger is? An outrigger, it's a really big thing. An outrigger is when you take a canoe or a boat and then you lash it to another canoe just like it. So you've got two canoes. It's like two pontoons. Okay, they do that. They do that also in the Gambia River. For example, if they're going to cross the river, there are parts of the river is 19 miles across in places. And you have also dangerous animals in the river, the most dangerous being the hippopotamus. More dangerous than a crocodile by far. And the hippopotamus is also territorial. So the hippopotamus will attack your boat. And if your boat is outrigged, then it's hard for him to turn it over. If you've got a canoe, you're in the water. But if you've got that canoe outrigged, lashed to another canoe, then it's difficult for him to do that. He can throw it up and it will come down, but it's hard for him to turn it over. And often they will have, one of the boats will have in it the women and the other will have the men. And they can cross the river like that safely. So this is probably what he's doing here. He's got it outrigged. One of the canoes will have warriors in it. Okay, and they can use sails, but they also use paddles. And that's very important because to get to America is not difficult. They just get into the equatorial current. You don't even have to paddle. If you paddle, you'll go faster. They don't even have to use a sail. If you use a sail, you'll go faster. And the winds are going to usually blow that way. How are you going to get home? Very important. That's when you need to have power canoes. And you have to go north of the current. And then you can get your way home. You can paddle home. That's very important. So he prepared 400 ships for this purpose. And one ship will be warriors, the other one will be gold, salt, water, and provision. And one of the things that is done in West Africa, especially on the shores, the north shore of the Gambia River, also the south shore, is dried meat. They are masters at drying meat. And people say they've been doing that for a long, long time. Again, dried meat is what you need. Then you can take that and you can have it for a long time. Salted meat, smoked meat, dried meat. So they're going to also have that. He said to the travelers on them, do not come back until you have reached the furthest limit of the sea or your provisions and water have run out. They left and were gone for a long time. Like you have to cross the water. Then you come back and tell me. Okay, then King Abu Bakr, okay, so, and anyway, I shortened the story. The story says that one of the boats came back. It didn't cross the Atlantic, and then Abu Bakr asked them, why did you come back? And they say, we lost the group. And the way they describe it indicates that the group got into the current before we did. He said they got into the river and the sea. That's what they call it. That's like the current. The currents are like that. And they disappeared over the horizons and we couldn't catch up. So we came back. And so he said, okay. He said, then King Abu Bakr II prepared 2,000 more boats. 1,000 for himself and the men he would take with him, and 1,000 for provisions and water. And he set out on the ocean sea with those who were with him and sailed on it. That was the last we saw of Abu Bakr and his men. Now why, does this make sense? Why would Abu Bakr do that? He is the king of Mali. He is very powerful. Why would he do this? Very, very good question. At-Taghribardi, who is another historian, I haven't seen this account, but a Moroccan brother told me he read it. He said he read the same account in Taghribardi, and Taghribardi said that Khan Musa said that we would bring gold from the other side of the sea. And I think that that is the secret. Because Africa has lots of gold. It's true. It does have lots of gold. But America has lots of gold. And when the Spanish come here, what are they looking for? El Dorado, the land of gold. Where is El Dorado, by the way? Guyana. Guyana, which is a virgin land today. Guyana is a beautiful country. South America, off the coast of Trinidad. Almost all the people live on the coastline. They are 12% Muslim. They are 12% Muslim, but when you go into the forest, you know, there's jaguars there. There are other things there, but and that's probably where the gold was. And there are other places too. There are a lot of competitors for El Dorado. But some Muslim historians, they believe that Muslims were coming here getting gold. And they believe that the West Africans did it, and they believe other people did it too, like the Andalusians as well. And they did other things. They got other things. Maybe we can talk about that more if it's interesting for you. But he's got to have a motive. You're not the king of a great empire who's got everything that money can buy, and you're going to send 2,400 boats across the Atlantic and go yourself, and your brother agrees that you go. And again, he didn't do this. This wasn't like he was a crazy man. This was state decision. These were the kings and the princes of Mali. And they consulted the seers. They consulted the African seers. And you have them to this day. And they consulted the sheikhs as well. That what is your opinion about this? Is this wise to do? Is it beneficial to do? So this is very interesting. So he says at the end of this, that was the last that we saw of Abu Bakr and his men. Okay, well, take another look. Take another look. These are clay statues from ancient America. We call them technically terracottas, burned clay. These are figurines, statuettes that were made in old ancient Mexico around 1300 and let's say 20. Around that period, the same exact period that the fleet was sent out. Okay, and this man here, you can tell what he is. First of all, he's wearing compound earrings. And compound earrings were worn by the Mandinka and the Bambara, and probably other tribes as well. So he's got compound earrings. He's also got a Mandinka helmet. He's also got other marks, and when I showed this to some of my beloved brothers in the Gambia, they said, Donso. Donso. He's a hunter. This is a hunter. Okay, now what does that mean? What does that mean? The hunter, Donso, is a special person. Because not just that he's a hunter, but that he has gifts, like some hunters have. That the Donso can take you into the jungle and bring you out alive. The Donso knows where the snakes are and what kind of snakes they are. This brother's a hunter, I know that. And he can tell you about this. You have a sense. The Donso also knows, should you go by land or should you go by sea? The Donso also knows where the lion is, and where the leopard is, and where the baboons are. He knows that. So the Donso is very important. And this statuette shows that this Mandinka Donso, he was probably one of the leaders. We don't know his name, but he was probably one of the leaders. And you can go to villages this day in Senegal and the Gambia and in Mali where Donsos can produce this same kind of dress. They do that they have certain festivals where they will do that. So this is really important. And who is this beautiful man right here? Do you doubt that he's a Muslim? Do you doubt he's got a turban on? That's a bambara. That's a bambara. If you ever saw a bambara, that's a bambara. I showed a picture to this wonderful woman who knows the tribal marks of Africans. I showed her a picture of Noble Drew Ali. Some of you know who Noble Drew Ali was. May Allah have mercy on him. Moorish Science Temple. She said, bambara. That's the first thing she said. Bambara. That's a bambara. Okay, this man's also a bambara. And bambaras are strong people. Bambaras are very strong people. And this would be the core population that was probably in those boats. Okay, so we see those faces today. And these were works of art that were produced in ancient Mexico a long time before Columbus was born or his grandfather was born. Okay, so these are almost certainly people that were on the voyage. We can guess that. That's not absurd to guess that. Okay, and inshallah, it's a great, I believe, blessing that Allah has preserved for us these terracottas. They were found in the National Museum of Mexico, in the basement, in a box. And I can tell you the person that found them.